Well, my twin brother Bruce and I started a company called Toyables. It kind of seemed like a natural thing to do because he was an retired aerospace engineer, and I was a retired shop teacher. And I taught woodworking, metalworking, and different trades for about 26 years. Giving us something else to work on was pretty fun. We spent time down the wood shop. He would do most of the artistic design work, especially when we make acrobats or marionette puppets. He would first draw them out to scale, and then I would manufacture pieces, parts, and then he would take and do all the fancy painting to make it look like either a postal worker or a fisher person or a farmer. Different characters we come up with to make something different from the traditional ballerina. Like we had knights in armor, we have a frog, we have SpongeBob square triangle pants, different things like that just to have fun. And then of course lots of other toys. We used an Appalachian toy we make, and it's our version of it. It's called a Winley Diddle or a G-Haul stick, where you can make a propeller go left or right. And what else do I have to say? I hope you're going to edit this, right? Bruce, his natural thing is he's been doing Santa for, like he said, 2 centuries. And it seemed natural he wanted to bring back old-fashioned toys, because so many kids today, the only thing they play with is electronic. And when we go to Renaissance fairs or Heritage Day festivals or anything like that, the kids come and spend hours at our booth playing with the toys. And so it's kind of a natural thing. We built on it, and we kept expanding our toy base. We came up with a small mini marshmallow catapult. Kids love that. Or small wooden swords and shields. Just things that Bilbo Cats, where you do eye-hand coordination. You flip a ball up, but typically they used a ball, but we used a bell, make it a little different, and made a noise. But the kids come and spend hours. They come back every year usually if they know us and they know we're going to be there. They come back to check out our new toys and see what's going on. We've even had kids stay at the booth and help sell things. They want to play with the yo-yos, or they want to different toys, and other kids will come up and they'll have little competitions on who can shoot the marshmallow the furthest. Sometimes we actually had a marshmallow shoot where we would have the kids launch marshmallows at passerbys in the audience just to get their attention and get them to smile and laugh. A little background on my brother. When he retired, he moved here in 1996. And ever since he moved here, he's always been involved in arts. He's always been painting and doing things like that, and storytelling. Heavily involved in church with the youth. He filled in as a youth pastor numerous times because he loves dealing with kids. And then he got involved with the Arts Council. In the Arts Council, they worked on, and we used to have here the Shakespeare in the Park events, and he would be involved with help setting it up, acting as a storyteller at the event, and he's also held puppet shows, and had kids doing the puppets, and involved in any activity. If they go down and do chalk painting, and they have somebody out there doing dancing, maypole dance. The last event was the maypole dance, and so he's up there dancing around the maypole. He had no qualms about doing something and participating in it.
Well, I play the piano at the church that Bruce and Barry attended. And Bruce was a bass singer in the choir, and Barry was our sound guy, or is our sound guy. And I've probably played there for 4 years now, I guess. And when I first met them, they was both extremely kind. Bruce, he just welcomed me into his arms, I guess, to say the least, and always laughed at me whenever I make mistakes on the piano and make faces. I can see him sitting back there just bouncing up and down where he's giggling so much. And I worked at the produce market then. Bruce came in and got some like squash, acorn, butternut squash, tomatoes, stuff like that. I said, "What are you doing with all this?" He said that him and Barry had built a catapult and they were going to shoot all this stuff across the pond. And it tickled me to death because you hardly ever see any senior citizens building catapults to launch stuff across the pond. So I gave them a whole bunch of rotten produce that we was going to throw away, so to really make a big splatter. They're always doing things for the kids, both of them are. This little one loved him to death. Loved them both to death. Didn't. And I don't know. They're just youthful people. They're always laughing, playing pranks, doing stuff for others. They're toys. They're the epitome of Santa Claus and his helper, most definitely.
How I met Bruce was I was actually at the gym in one of the workout classes, and I remember him coming in, setting up his area, and we started working out, and he was just dancing around there while everyone else was like falling over, and he had the biggest smile on his face and just joyful the whole time, even though it was a pretty rough class. And Bruce, the only thing I can ever think of every time when I think of him is his smile. He always had a smile on his face and a kind word to say. Never saw him without that smile.
I want to say to Bruce and Barry, thank you for everything.
I met Bruce and Barry a long time ago on one of the local adventures that was called Shakespeare in the Park. And that was the occasion that I bought my kilt, and Bruce was wearing his kilt because he was a Campbell, Bruce Campbell. He wore a Campbell kilt. And Barry was selling funnel cakes, and Bruce was selling toys he had made himself, old-fashioned toys, and also telling some stories, but mostly selling toys. My wife was showing how you could paint to get people entertained, and I was assisting her and did not much than walking in everybody's way. I learned to know Bruce, and Bruce was a really fun guy to talk to. He had all kinds of stories and things to say, and that not many people knew, but he was a mathematician, and so he knew a lot about math, and that was interesting to me too. And yeah, we became friends more or less, and through the time we saw each other from time to time, and always had good conversation. And later I suddenly learned that Bruce had become a member of the gallery, and that was nice to see him here from time to time.
My word for Bruce is big-hearted, or words. I never met a more outgoing, helpful, friendly person ever. Whether you were a small child or you were a well-advanced senior, Bruce always had a smile for you, a hand on the shoulder, and he was ready to make your day. Thank you, Bruce. Big-hearted.
We love you. Miss you always.